The craft beer industry continues to grow and become more popular. On tonight's episode of Connecting Our Community, we'll introduce you to one of Montgomery County's newest craft beer providers, the Brookeville Beer Farm. Coming up next. Hi everybody, I'm Karen Allen. Welcome to Connecting Our Community. Our guest tonight, Phil Muth, co-owner of the Brookeville Beer Farm, and Kenny Borkman, the brewmaster. First of all, I don't know a whole lot about beer. I'm really not a beer drinker, but beer is an upcoming, trendy occupation, and especially people like yourself starting from scratch and building their own brewery. That's a hard one. So,
Yes.
Phil,
Yes.
what made you start off, and why did you choose Brookeville, which is 2 seconds from me, so maybe I will pay you a visit. And what do you see, going on here?
Well, I chose Brookeville just because it's in my backyard. I live a half a mile from the brewery, right on Georgia Avenue, and I was looking for a property to start a brewery there. I spent a lot of time in Colorado with my children, skiing, snowboarding, and I saw the brewery trends out there, and I really thought that Maryland could use some of that culture. And in 2014, the Maryland legislature changed the laws, creating what's called a Class 8 farm brewery. So you have to include one ingredient from the property into the beers. So that's what motivated me to do it.
So you chose a property where you could include...
Exactly. The property was big enough. We put in hops in 2014. We have 15 different varieties and about 400 hop binds, they call them.
What does that mean?
Hop bind?
Yeah.
It's a like a vine, but they call it a bind.
Oh, okay.
So that's what a hop is, and it's just a vine that grows
Basically
20 feet high and has cones on it.
Okay.
And that cones are where we get the hoppy flavor. So beer, that's the natural antimicrobial in the hop. So that's where IPA came from.
Okay.
Indian Pale Ale, we could ship from England to India, and it would last the whole way, because we chocked it full of hops.
This is really beer 101 for me.
Yeah,
because
so
even though you and I both went to Maryland.
You asked a small question, I'll give you a long answer.
And we both knew how important beer was when we're both alumni of University of Maryland.
We are.
We remember that correctly, but I
Yes.
did not partake, and clearly you did. In any case, this is a new, like I said, upcoming trendy, like you saw in Colorado. It's the same thing in Maryland. I know there's another one in Montgomery County, at least one. So it's a good, is it a good business? Has it been profitable?
It appears to be profitable. We're covering our costs, and we're real happy with that. So we've been received well. Social media, we're getting a lot of positive feedback. Kenny's put out how many different styles?
21 as of today.
That was my next question.
In 4 months, 21 different styles of beer. Yeah.
That's painful, actually. Wow. For someone who doesn't do beer, that's just not fair. But Kenny, tell me what a brewmaster is to begin with. What is that?
Brewmaster oversees all brewery operations, so the actual brewing of the beer, the cellaring of the beer, carbonation, packaging. So taking it from A to Z, basically.
That's a very big job then.
Yes.
Did you have experience in this?
I
mean, how do you get to be a brewmaster?
I was a home brewer for a long time, all
okay.
throughout college. Worked at Maryland Homebrew in Columbia.
Okay, that's cool.
And learned a lot from my coworkers there, as well as the pros that would come in. From the Baltimore area and in the DC area that would come in to pick up pilot ingredients. So learning the tricks of the trade, and brewing all throughout college. And, I crossed paths with Phil at Maryland Homebrew, and he offered me a job. I said, do you want to brew?
That's
for a
cool.
living? So.
Yeah. It's interesting that do you love beer or do you like beer?
I love beer.
Okay,
when people ask me what my favorite kind of beer is always my answer.
Is that right? What is it about beer? I mean, just digress for 1 second. What do you love about beer?
The flavor.
As opposed to like wine or mixed drinks or something. Is it the consistency?
For me, with spirits, you're pretty much always working with one percentage of alcohol. Same with wine. Pretty much 1% of alcohol within a range. With beer, we could be at 3% or we could be at 13%. So we have all these ranges and all these styles that we can do. Yeah.
That means people could take the 3% and get drunk much less, much slower, and the 10% might be.
Much
Now,
quicker.
is your place also a bar where people can come and have
Well,
few beers?
in the traditional sense, not a bar. I mean, we don't serve mixed drinks. We don't serve anyone else's beer or any
Okay,
wine there.
okay.
So we only serve our beer, and we refer to it as a tasting room or a tap room.
Right, and you
versus
do
a
have
bar.
a tray with glasses and different whatever.
A flight, yes.
Thank you, a flight.
Yes.
Okay, and people can taste different beers.
Certainly.
How many beers do you have right now? You
We currently have 8 on tap.
Wow, okay, and you brew them all.
Yes. I develop all the recipes for them. as well.
Where do you get recipes for beer from?
Out of here.
You make them up.
Yes.
So you're creative too.
Yes.
That is really cool. Now, what if he doesn't like one of your beers?
Then we
Just curious.
see how it sells, and if it doesn't sell, don't.
Well, we had one of the most popular ones, the grain batter.
Yeah.
I was like, I think you better pour it down the drain, and it was a huge hit.
Wow.
So,
he
it
knows
just goes,
nothing.
I know nothing, right?
But that's
I'll drink my IPAs. That's what I drink.
The beauty of it, I guess, is that there's so much versatility that you can throw to a beer, which, not only is it, I guess, eventually profitable, but it must be fun. It's fun. It's what you love to do,
It is.
is coming up with these recipes.
We really don't know what's going to come out on the other side. A lot of times, Kenny's brewing. Well, I'll let you talk about what you're brewing now, but they're unproven, so we don't know what it's going to be like. We've got an idea, but you want to tell what you're doing?
Yeah. So just this past week, I had cellared the coconut cream ale, which is going to be coming out. I had toasted
Coconut cream ale.
coconut cream ale. So
That's a beer.
it's
You almost had me there.
it's a beer. Yes.
Wow.
So it's a traditional style, turn of the century style type beer. And we toasted 16 pounds of coconut in the beginning.
Wow.
8 pounds in the mash, 8 pounds in the boil. And then Monday or Tuesday, I toasted another 16 pounds of coconut and ran it through the hop back.
And the hot back, once again, is what?
Hop back is essentially just a vessel that filters
Okay.
particulate. So ran the beer through the toasted coconut to strip the flavor out and got carbonation into it. And then just today, luckily I got it all off of my hands, but pureed 96 pounds of cranberries, fresh cranberries, blanched them and then pureed them and
Wow.
put them into the bright tank.
That is
for
really
a,
amazing.
cranberry orange brown ale.
I've never heard of fruit type, beers. That's really cool. I mean, not that I know a lot about it, but yeah, he comes up with these things.
Yeah.
How many? You said you're brewing 8 different kinds of beers now.
We
Right.
have 8 on tap,
On tap.
but I've brewed 21 different styles.
Yeah, that's what you
22
said
will be
before.
next week.
Yeah, and you just keep developing, right? And can people come for tours at your place and then they get a tasting? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much open to tours at any point in time.
Just ask. We make it very informal process. There's no scheduled time. If any one of us are there and anyone asks, come on back. We'll walk you through.
That's so
show you
cool.
what we do. Yeah,
You're eager to show people and to inform?
we are. We're having a lot of fun doing what we're doing, and we want to share it with everyone else.
And do you get a lot of visitors nowadays? Who's coming over there?
We've got such a great mix. I mean, we have our neighborhood, our regulars, and we have such a good demographic right there. And it's more my age group. And then we have people that will come, and there's an app called Untapped. And a lot of his age group, they're all trying to fill out how many beers they've tasted. So they might have 1,000 different beers. So they run from brewery to brewery. And so we have people come from Northern Virginia or Washington or Silver Spring. They come as a destination. So we have a combination of local and destination.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
Are you going to let the schools bring field trips in there?
certainly. Certainly.
Just kidding.
For the
Okay,
farming practice.
just kidding. Yeah, what are they?
Well, we do farming too, so that's part of what we do. So it's not where we brew, but we also take care of the hop yard. So we're in the morning right now. We're doing soil tests. We'll try to get the soil right for the spring, and in August we harvest the hops.
That is very
and
cool.
vacuums. We dry 'em
really
in the
farming,
building.
isn't it?
It is real farming.
work.
Yeah. It's fun work though.
Yeah.
If you have to make a living, it's a pretty good way to make a living.
Yeah, I can see you're very happy with this. It's nice. It's nice to be passionate and enjoy your job.
It is.
What was in your previous life? What did you do?
I had a wholesale produce company. It's called Coastal Sunbelt Produce, and I started that when I was 25, and then I sold it to a public company and tried to figure out what to do next.
And
And that became brewing.
you always liked beer, so you said, what the hell?
It's exactly what it was. I was like, can I put this together? Something I love, close to home, have friends come to visit and spend money with me. So
That
it's
sounds
pretty
great.
much perfect.
Yeah, you talked me into it. Don't go away. These gentlemen and the brewery will be back after this break.
When you donate goods in response to an international disaster, it's expensive.
They have to cross the sea, pass through customs, be inspected, sorted, then finally delivered.
And often they arrive too late to help, making your good intentions feel a little empty.
There is a better way.
Cash donations are fast, simple, and allow professional relief workers to purchase supplies close at hand.
Cash is best. Learn more at CIDI.org.
It's our duty to serve veterans and military families who serve their country in the most difficult ways imaginable. Together, we can say thank you in so many ways. Small acts of kindness mean more than anything. With our support, veterans and military families can face even the most difficult challenges. Let's honor their service with ours.
We are back on Connecting Our Community, and we're talking about beer with Phil Muth, co-owner of the Brookeville Beer Farm, and Kenny Borkman, who is the brewmaster. Not just any beer. These gentlemen make their own beer, have their own brewery right in Brookeville, Maryland, which is kind of cool. And we're talking about all the different kinds of beers you make and how you farm to get there, and it's a farm and a brewery. So you said there were you have 8 beers on tap, and you have 21 you've made total.
Correct.
Can you give us some names of some of these beers and then tell us how you came up with these names? Because I imagine you get to do whatever you want.
Yes.
You can just name it whatever you want.
Yeah. It's a very democratic process when we come up with beer names. For instance, we have one that's called Interdependence,
Right.
and that's our flagship IPA.
Oh, remind people, what is IPA?
IPA is India Pale Ale. So
And what
it's
is India Pale Ale? Just so people can.
It's a very hoppy beer. There's the East Coast style, which is a little bit sweeter with the malt, and then there's the West Coast style, which is very dry and very, very, very hoppy.
Okay.
So
Hoppy,
ours is
right.
about halfway in between there.
And
Okay.
it's the most popular beer right now, wouldn't you say?
The
Yeah.
Interdependent?
IPA.
Oh, the IPA.
IPA in
okay.
general.
as well
yeah.
as the
Okay.
Independent.
The IPA. Okay. I
Yeah,
get it.
so the name Interdependence, we're all very interdependent on each other, and when it comes to our core team of people, just the other day, I was helping somebody install heaters, and just today he was helping me puree the cranberries. So and it's
Everybody has to know everybody's job. Then,
right,
I would think.
exactly.
So
we
you
all
get to
have to be able to
participate in the name.
Yes, it's very democratic. Happen chance, it's a play on words of happenstance.
Yeah.
We'd all just happen to cross paths at the right time, and it's formed our core team.
Yeah. And how big is your core team?
There's 4 of us, or
Four.
with Tim 5.
5,
So
yeah.
so 5
5 full-time
beer
employees.
addicts, basically. Beer lovers.
Beer
Beer
lovers.
lovers.
Yeah.
And then about 15 work in our tap room part-time.
And the tap room, is that
weekends.
where they?
That's where we serve,
Serve the
and
beer.
we build the flights, and fill growlers is a new big thing. So people can bring recyclable, refillable 32 or 64-ounce containers and fill them.
And then they're not driving home.
That's
They're
right.
sleeping on the farm. You have cots around? Have you ever had anybody that wouldn't let out the door afterwards? Does that happen often?
I've seen some cars left there at night, but we
That shouldn't
all
have been.
need to pay. No, it's one thing that we all are conscious and we've all been trained on, that if anybody appears to have too much to drink, to be
Take
not
the car keys.
over-served. Yeah.
Yeah,
And to go
over-serving
over it.
ends up being really bad for
Really bad.
everybody.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it's not worth it. Yeah. Sometimes people are just have a problem saying something because they're like, are they too drunk or are they not? And then they don't want to make that sort of foray into the other person's space. But
Exactly.
it must be done. You
No,
guys, you said you're
we-
trained.
And we've all been trained on it. So the Maryland Brewery Association offers a course, and we all take that.
Very good.
that,
So you've done your
we're all
homework.
conscious. We do. And our higher alcohol beers we serve in a 10 ounce glass versus a 16-ounce glass. So
Clever.
Slow it down. a
Yeah,
little
no,
bit.
that's good. And enjoy it. Enjoy, because I
Enjoy.
think what you guys are
Exactly.
saying is you really enjoy it going down.
Yeah, sure.
That's nice to hear.
Not
Give me
coming
my
back
Kir
up.
Royale and in the back in the day, the White Russian. I
We'll
thought that was a
change
big
it.
deal.
Yeah,
And the
that
whiskey
is.
sour, things I haven't had in 40 years. But anyway, okay, so give me some more names because those are interesting.
We also have the Pilsner.
Yeah.
Something to do with Phil.
Yeah.
Pilsner, that's
Either
funny.
my ego or his humor. Which
Yeah.
one? You got to figure that out.
But what did you put in the beer that's characteristic of Phil?
Nothing necessarily characteristic
Oh.
of Phil. It's just a play on words.
It
You know,
was just a play-
Pilsner
it
is
was
a
Pilsner.
classic style. So
Oh, okay,
you know,
yeah.
it's one letter away from Pilsner.
Right. And so is there one named after you, Kenny?
No.
Like the
We
Bork?
need the Borkman.
or something?
No, we haven't
Yeah.
done that yet. It's coming. We need your help naming the coconut cream and the orange cranberry,
be
the
happy to
holiday
help.
beer. So we got to come up
Well,
with something.
we'll work on that.
Okay.
Definitely have to, come up with something interesting. At the farmer's market, do you actually sell anything at the farmer's market in Olney? You know, they have that farmer's market every Sunday and even more. Are you able to sell?
That's a
Your
great question because
yeah.
we were. We
Yeah.
were participating in the farm market, and then we actually started one on our place. So we have a farm market
Okay.
within the brewery, an indoor farm market inside the brewery on Saturday mornings, starting at 10 till 3 in the afternoon.
And what do you sell?
We have a meat vendor. We have a local vegetable and produce vendor. We have a bread and bakery person.
The
we
olive
have
guy.
Olive, yeah.
Twin Valley Distillery.
We have a
comes up.
distillery and we have a winery. So they all assemble. And so we have a registered a farm market.
You have your own farm market.
Yeah, on site.
That is very cool.
Thank you.
I did not
That's
know you
fun.
had that aspect of it
Mhm.
because you're
So another reason for you to come.
absolutely,
Yeah.
definitely.
And we serve coffee also.
Very important. Yeah, very important. So, but I wanted to get this straight. You used to sell at the farmer's market, and then you just, that's when,
That's right. Then we started our own farm
Yeah,
market
okay.
here.
because the farmer's market in Olney has grown to an amazing thing.
It's a great market. Yeah.
But I guess if you can
But it
have your
closed
own.
down in the winter, so
Right,
we're
right.
indoors.
Right. Well, they're kind of open, keeping it open, but that's.
Are they?
Yeah,
didn't know
that's
that.
neither
Okay.
here nor there. I can't keep track of it. So now, do you have organized tours? You said people stop by and you can sort of take them in, but they're like organized, maybe that's an idea.
What's interesting is we're starting to see there's a brewery near us called Wardaka, another farm brewery. So we're starting to see bus tours go from Seven Locks to Brookeville Beer Farm to Wardaka, or there might be a bachelor party or just a bus tour. So we're starting to see that kind of thing, and of course we would offer them tours as well.
That's a great idea. You could
Yeah.
be in tour books, for people looking for breweries. I mean, people look for all kinds of things when they're
Different things
touring,
to do,
and you could
right.
get yourselves on the map.
Yes.
That would be great, right?
Yeah.
How many years or how long has this been?
4 months we've been open.
Wow.
We
You've
put
just
hops in.
opened.
We just opened.
That is amazing.
But we put our hops in 2014, so this has been a long process, but about 2.5 years. Yeah.
From start to when you
Start
opened?
till now,
Two
about
and a
2.5.
half. What are you doing for 2.5 years?
We had there was there wasn't much. There was a shell of a building.
So you had to
So
build.
no bathrooms, no septic, no electric. We had to trench the floors. We had to insulate. Everything had to come up to commercial standards under Montgomery County rules. And of course, Montgomery County, everybody says, "Oh, how'd you get through this county? It's horrible." Well, these are the same standards that are in every county.
Yeah.
It's not Montgomery County. Montgomery County, I'm just going to put a little compliment in for Montgomery County, is they've been very supportive. County council and different members have come up, and they're very interested in seeing these type of businesses develop in Montgomery County.
Yeah.
You know,
This is a small business, but it could be growing to a medium business and more. I think under
yes.
50
Ike
people.
Leggett has been there, and he's very
county
supportive.
executive?
Yes. So our county executive.
I'll bet. No,
Yeah.
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm like the county council. I'll bet they're over there. Kidding. Okay, that's very cool. Okay, now you said you haven't really turned a profit yet. How long does it take to turn a profit?
Well, I haven't gotten through my books, but I think we're profitable at this point. We're covering our expenses, and I think I haven't seen the financial statements, but pretty close.
And
I'm
you said that when people come and they can have a beer, but do you actually distribute their beer to like restaurants, or is that the next step?
That's
or
another great question.
I'd love
yeah.
to know,
Yeah,
'cause
so we're out. I had kegs on
Delivering
my
kegs
truck
today.
today. I delivered different ones. Grill Marks is a customer.
Oh,
We're
okay.
down at Muscle Bar in Bethesda, and we're at Owens Ordinary in Rockville, and
Parts and labor in
Parts
Baltimore.
and Labor in Baltimore.
you
so
ship, I mean, I guess
Yeah.
distribute, or,
by the keg.
yeah.
So we're on tap in these different
Right.
places that I've named throughout.
It's nice to have
Montgomery
your beers
County.
on tap. I mean, when you go to
Yes.
Baltimore and you see the Pilsner,
Yeah, that's right.
you can be like, I'm filled, you guys, drink up, drink up. That's
Except,
kind of,
will you buy me a beer? I get that too much.
I'm sure,
Yeah.
sure. But that's very cool. So your kegs go all anywhere. A restaurant can call you up and say,
That's
let me
right.
order. How many do they order on a what's the general order amount? How many kegs does each
Usually
restaurant
one
need?
to two kegs, and maybe one or two styles. They'll want to try different styles. And so we put out an email once a week saying, what Kenny's styles are, what he's brewing next, what we have in inventory, how many kegs, and there's
Wow.
half barrels or sixth of a barrel. And we sell both ways. And then we'll start bottling in the next 3 or 4 weeks, and we'll have 22-ounce bombers, bigger
Wow.
bottles that'll be in retail liquor stores and
That's
retail
a
establishments.
real step then.
Yeah, it is a big step.
Because you can have
Yeah.
all these types of beers in bottles and make a fortune. Because people, will be interested in all the variety.
And we've kept one keg of all 21 styles that Kenny has brewed. We've kept one keg, and then we'll bottle that. So we'll have a legacy series of every beer that we've had.
That's a good idea.
For those that remember our brown ale, or remember our grain batter, or the ones that have gone off
The Weizenbach.
off top. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some really popular beers that people were just crushed that they were gone. And so we'll bring them back in a bottle.
Wow, that's a
Yeah.
great idea.
Yeah.
When you were getting into this business, Phil, just real quick, did you, and Kenny,
You
you
gotta
told
say
me how
that
you
one.
got experience. What?
You have to tell me quick.
How did you learn how to brew and how to run this place?
That's a good question.
You want to start with how to brew?
Yeah, how to brew.
Because you said you had experience from previous jobs.
From Maryland Homebrew, yeah. When I was there, I would develop recipes for people. I would put together recipes. I would talk to the pros and see what they were doing. And I started off on my mom's stove when I was in college. So I brewed all throughout college. My buddy Bryson and I would brew every Friday and/or Saturday.
Is your
And-
mom, was she at home at the time?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So-
Just checking.
yeah,
She's
God
cool.
bless her soul.
She said, my son's an entrepreneur.
He's brewing.
Okay, so
But-
that's how you learned to actually brew.
To actually brew, yes, the hands-on part of it, and I did a lot of research myself, a lot of reading, a lot of experimenting. A lot of brewing is a mixture of both science and creativity. So making sure to keep things sanitary, making sure the bacteria doesn't infiltrate the sanctity that is the beer, and then being creative, like with the cranberries and the orange in the beer that I transferred today.
So it's science, art,
Oh, yeah.
skill, creativity. It covers. I would never have thought that, with the beer.
And Kenny, he's being very modest, but he has a math degree, and he's a
Oh my God.
science mind. So he understands the chemistry and the math and the calibrations and all those pieces that, frankly, it's way over my head. The yeast and how it interacts with our well water, the mineral content of the well water and how that impacts the flavor. I mean, the complexities never end. Remember, there's just 4 ingredients that go into almost all these beers. If we're not putting cranberries and orange in it, most of our beers only have water, yeast, malt, and hops, 4 ingredients. But it's
Wow.
millions of combinations in those 4 ingredients.
It's good you have a mathematician on hand.
Oh, yeah.
Let's tell people where you're located. It's 20315 Georgia Avenue in Brookeville, and you have a website, brookvillebeerfarm.com. So it's just all Brookeville. It's on the screen right now, brookvillebeerfarm.com. And again, I'll just give the address, 20315 Georgia Avenue, in a beautiful area, I must say. A beautiful.
And a beautiful building. I hope you come see it soon.
I
Yeah.
think I'll consider myself invited. And thanks, both of you. Kenny, Phil, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And everybody,
Thank
thanks
you.
for watching.
Thanks,
And we'll
Ken.
see you. Don't forget Connecting Our Community, which is at mymcmedia.org. And I'm Karen Allen. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.